Hi Aquarius, this is your horoscope for June 2017. Thank you for joining me. It's really nice to be with you today. Now, from the 24th of May through until the 10th of June, Venus conjuncts Uranus. A conjunction is when two planets occupy the same space and they kind of become a mishmash of each other's energies and they blend together. Venus is the planet of love and beauty and creativity. Uranus is rebellion and eccentricity, and both of them are in the super bossy and fiery sign of Aries. So you will really get a kick out of communicating, and I think you may even get a kick out of being a provocateur, using communication to have a little bit of fun. You're really uber confident. Anything to do with presenting, speaking, communicating, interviewing, you should do that during this period because you're going to absolutely love it. Nerves or fear aren't even going to come into it. You will see this as something fun that you can play with. On the 5th of June, Mars moves into Cancer and it stays in Cancer all month. Mars is the archetypal male principle and it wants to get things done. It rules Aries and it's not particularly happy in Cancer. Cancer is more about the domestic and it's about nurturing other people. The 6th house is about your day-to-day routine and your work. So with Mars sitting in Cancer there, you may start to feel a sense of frustration about the way your everyday routine looks. Even though nothing has changed on the surface, you become irritable. The way to manage this and the way to deal with this irritability is to deliberately be nicer to yourself this month. Take weekends away. Go on a weekend trip. If you live in England, or in Europe, you know, it's summertime, the weather is better, you can do certain things. Your actual life hasn't changed in any way, it's just that Mars is it's almost like having a thorn in your side. It's niggling at you and it's irritating you. So do fun things, spend time with people, go exploring and treat yourself. Maybe even if money isn't a huge problem, then maybe treat yourself, buy yourself some chocolates or even get yourself a nice little gift or something. It's really about being kind to yourself and not fighting that sense of frustration, because it's nothing to do with reality. It's Mars not being comfortable in Cancer. On the 6th of June, Venus, the planet of love and beauty, it moves into your 4th house and it moves into Taurus and it stays in Taurus all month. So Venus in Taurus is really loving, she's really grounded, she's practical, she's like the earth mother. And in your 4th house of family, you really appreciate your family members, you really nurture them, you want to nurture them, you want to take care of them, and you want to spend lots of time with them. Mercury, the communication planet, is also in Taurus here on the 6th of June. So it's about a sense of community and really enjoying time spent with family members. So that's a real blessing here. On the 7th of June, going through until the 21st of June, we have Mercury, the communication planet, going into Gemini in your 5th house. In your 5th house, well, Mercury is a communication planet and it rules Gemini, so it's very happy. So the big key word for the whole month is communication. That is what you get an A+ for and a gold star for the whole month. Communication is going to be exceptional. So make sure you put yourself in situations where you get to communicate. If you've always wanted to write a book, write the book. If you've always wanted to do a presentation, do the presentation. Do it in June, okay? So each house of the zodiac as well is made up of 30 degrees. And when a planet is at 0 degrees or 1 degree or at 29 degrees, those are the critical angles. That's when it's most powerful. Mercury is at 0 degrees in Gemini in your 5th. You're able to communicate exceptionally well. You're articulate. Other people like the way you come across. They want to hear what you're saying. It's conjunct to your midheaven and your sun also in Gemini in that 5th. So you can have now, Mars is still causing that irritation, but this energy in the 5th is much more about having fun and about things not being problematic, and not just in your private life, but also at work. So what I'm seeing, reading between the lines, is if you address the things that bother you in your working life, I really think that your working life is going to cooperate with you and say, okay, we can help you, we can make certain changes to accommodate you. I really feel that. So if you're in that situation, if you're in that boat, then don't be afraid to ask to be accommodated by your employer, because I really think it looks very good. From the 7th of June until the 21st of June is the best time to do that kind of thing, that 2-week period. On the 9th of June, we have the full moon in Sagittarius, and I'm going to do a separate video on the full moon and the new moon. I do that every month because I go into a lot more detail because these events can be quite complex. In your case, Aquarius, the full moon in Sagittarius happens in your 11th house of hopes and dreams. And it's a strange one because it's sitting right next to Saturn, which is restriction, and Black Moon Lilith, which is about repression. So this full moon is like a completion point, and it urges you to go out and explore, but it's a confusing message because also it'll say, stay put and don't take risks. So it's an unpleasant, it'll feel somewhat unsettling. The way to use that, and the way for you to sort out any negative thing this month really, is to communicate and to use positive affirmations as well to deal with negative feelings. Because you are so communicative, your words have a lot of power, the spoken word has a lot of power. I love myself, that has such power, and if you use those kind of things, you can really change your reality in some way and manage these conflicting messages that you're getting via the astrology. So Aquarius, I think around the 8th, 9th and 10th of June, you're not going to be 100% certain of what your place is, what you're doing, whether you have both feet firmly planted on the ground. It's a confusing and complicated time for you, and don't overthink it. Don't get into your head. It'll pass. Focus on the communication. That is your gift this month. On the 16th of June until the 22nd of November, Neptune, the planet of dreams and aspirations, goes retrograde. Neptune is in your second house of money and belongings. It allows you to manifest abundance and wealth and prosperity. Neptune is the manifestation planet, and the second house is the house of prosperity and money and belongings. You've got your moon in Pisces here as well on the 16th of June, and you have Chiron in Pisces in the second house as well. So by doing a vision board or writing down what you want to achieve in your physical, financial and career life, either writing it down or making a vision board by cutting out images from magazines and pasting them down, sticking them on your fridge, on a wall somewhere, is going to work very well for you because Neptune is in your second house. It will stay in that second house for a long time. It's not just June, it's pretty much for the rest of 2017. And what you're able to do, Aquarius, is that you're able to manifest real money, real abundance, real prosperity. Now, Neptune is a passive planet. It's about getting ideas and guidance in. When you connect with Neptune, you feel like you're getting inspiration and guidance and messages, and it's kind of passive. When Neptune goes retrograde, it appears to be going backwards. So it's even more passive. So it provides you with even more guidance, even more information, and it opens you up even more. So listen to that guidance, think constructive thoughts, manifest money, prosperity, wealth, abundance, and you'll see a return on that really, really quickly. So Aquarius, I know this is the forecast for June, but I do want to just talk a little bit beyond that in your case, because Neptune does sit in your second house for the rest of the year. So for you, the way you think about money is really important. There's an amazing book called The Abundance Book, written by John Randolph Price. It costs, I think, £7 on Amazon. It's a small book, and it looks at money from a spiritual perspective, and it looks at your relationship with money. I read it. There's a 40-day prosperity plan in it. I read that book and it changed my relationship with finances, and it changed my life. I think with you being in the situation you're in, you could really benefit from reading that book. So I would recommend that. It's The Abundance Book by John Randolph Price. Now on the 16th of June, Mars also begins to trine Neptune. So the tweaks that you want to make to your working life, or the sense of frustration, that's going to now feed into Neptune, and that's going to add some negativity, and it's going to also say this isn't happening fast enough. I'm restless. I want this to happen now. Be aware of those thoughts when they come in. Let them just pass on in and go on by, and repeat your positive affirmations when it comes to prosperity and finances, because that's what you want to do. There was a book years ago called The Secret, written by, it was a huge bestseller. It was The Secret. And basically what this book said is, think happy thoughts and happy things will happen, okay? So imagine yourself getting a check through the door for 10 grand, and you just think it, and that check for 10 grand will appear. Okay, that's what this book said. Partially right, but it's missing some steps which actually get you there. You can't just, if you just think about a 10 grand check, it's not going to come through your post. But if you think about it and you visualize it and you manifest it, then you keep thinking about it in your mind, like I've said, with writing it down or sticking it on a wall or something like that. Because you're focusing on it, it gets bigger. Anything we focus on expands and gets bigger. You will then receive guidance via Neptune as to what you can do so that you can get that £10,000 check. Then when you implement the guidance that you get, that's when you get your check. So The Secret said step 1, but it missed out step 2 and step 3, that you actually have to listen to the guidance and do something with it. So I think that's helpful for you in 2017, Aquarius, and I think you would benefit from looking at that. On the 21st of on the 21st of June until the 6th of July, Mercury, the communication planet, moves into Cancer, and it goes into your 6th house. So the emotional state, or the emotional sense of frustration that's there in your day-to-day routine, can be limited now, and can be you can kind of forget about it now, because Mercury is in Cancer, and Mercury in Cancer is very nurturing towards yourself. So you're automatically going to start thinking much more positive things about yourself. You're also going to be much more nurturing towards other people, and it kind of puts an end to this pattern that we've seen up until the 21st of June here, which has been somewhat problematic. On the 24th of June, the new moon occurs in Cancer, and that also happens in your 6th house. I'll make a separate video on the new moon as well, but this pulls in Cancer energy, so the moon can start its new monthly cycle, and it pulls in even more nurturing, loving, self-loving energy. So at the end of the month here, you go from one extreme to the other, where it's really discomfort, and by the end of the month you really end up feeling quite blissed out, and there's a lot of self-love, and you feel like you're on the right track. So that's what I get for you in June. I hope it gives you something to work with. If you would like a private reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Just click on the readings tab to order your reading with me. What I do is I draw up your birth chart by looking at your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. That shows me what your life purpose is and what your vocational aptitudes are, what your strengths are, your weaknesses are, what's going on with relationships and that kind of thing. And I can also look at your progress chart and your transits and your astrocartography to look at what's coming up in future, what the best place for you to live is, all of those kind of things. So if you're interested in that, please order a reading with me on the website gregoryscott.com. If you like my videos and you would like to support me, then please subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you next month for the July forecast for Aquarius. So I hope you have a wonderful June, and I'll speak to you next month.